When there is a mention of heritage, old traditions, and customs, invariably two thought streams seem to emerge. One says, burn the old, throw it away, while other says that old is gold. Rather than choosing between these conflicting ideologies, we aim to find a golden mean, a middle ground that allows us to weave together the threads of ancient wisdom and contemporary knowledge. Through this podcast, we hope to ignite conversations and stimulate thoughts that inspire us to reimagine our cultural landscape and find new ways to honor our past while shaping a meaningful future. Join us as we embark on this journey of exploration and discovery. Welcome to the podcast Something Old, Something New. I am your host, Rohini Abhyankar. Part 9, the story behind the story of Parikshit and Takshak, and some points to consider. Many of us are familiar with the tale of Parikshit and Takshak from the epic, the Mahabharata. I too was acquainted with it. However, upon revisiting the Adi Parva in the Mahabharata, it became apparent that some essential elements in the narratives had become obscured through the passage of time and the effects of the game of telephone. Today, instead of delving into the intricate details of the story, I aim to shed light on a couple of related sub stories and emphasize the notable aspects that captured my attention. The story of Parikshit, the grandson of Arjun and son of Abhimanyu, opens against the backdrop of Arjun's conquest of the Khandav forest to establish the city of Indraprastha, modern day New Delhi. During this endeavor, numerous forest dwelling tribes met their demise, and tragically, Takshaka's entire family, with the exception of his son, perished in the flames. Subsequently, driven by vengeance, Takshaka, the serpent prince, resolved to annihilate Arjun and his progeny. This sets the stage for the events that unfold in the story. King Parikshit was renowned for his exceptional hunting skills, ensuring that no prey could escape his arrow. However, there came a day when an extraordinary incident occurred. It is mentioned in Mahabharata that this certain wild creature struck by king's arrow would be the cause of Parikshit's own demise. Driven by his relentless pursuit, the king chased the beast, pierced with his arrows for a considerable period of time. The pursuit led deep into the heart of the forest. Exhausted and thirsty, King Parikshit arrived at the hermitage of sage Shamik. This sage was a revered ascetic who, while the calves were drinking the cow's milk, engaged in a penance of silence by consuming the froth that formed around the calf's mouth. Thus, Parikshit, seeking answers, encountered sage Shamik sitting in a meditative state within a stable. The king repeatedly inquired of the silent sage if he had seen the injured beast. However, the sage, bound by his vow of silence, remained unresponsive. Frustrated and angered by Shamik's silence, King Parikshit callously wrapped a lifeless serpent around the neck of the motionless sage. There is another story around this inexplicable behavior of the king, but we will take it some other time. Realizing the gravity of his actions, the king soon repented and departed from the hermitage, returning to his kingdom in a state of remorse. The tale continues with Shringi, the young son of Rishi Shamik, returning from his service to his guru. Along the way, one of his friends intercepted him, revealing a distressing piece of information. The friend exclaimed, "Hey, you claim to be a great ascetic, But why is your father sitting in the stable with a dead snake around his neck? This revelation angered Shringi, who then asked for the details of the entire sequence of events from his friend. Consumed by anger towards King Parikshit, Shringi took water from his kamandalu, the water pot, in his hand and pronounced a curse. He declared that within 7 days Parikshit would meet his demise at the hands of the Takshaka prince, the snake. With the curse issued, Shringi approached his father, witnessing him sitting with a lifeless snake around his neck. Overwhelmed by humiliation, Shringi began to cry. Shringi confided in his father about the curse he had laid upon the king. This particular Mahabharata narrative was new to me and is quite significant. Sage Shamik, upon learning of the incident, grew infuriated with Shringi. This was the new piece. He proclaimed that Parikshit, despite inadvertently committing the act due to his exhaustion, was a protector of righteous Dharmarakshak. The sage emphasized that the king had arrived in a state of fatigue, unaware of the sage's vow of silence. Consequently, Parikshit's actions, being unintentional, deserved forgiveness. Additionally, the sage explained in details the virtues of a king who upholds righteousness and safeguards the welfare of his subjects. Sage Shamik addressed the mistakes committed by Shringi in his anger and imparted the wisdom that regardless of their status as great ascetics, if they do not have their anger under control, they are in need of further preaching from their superiors. Due to Shringi's youth, sage Shamik advised him to control his anger by eating solely roots and fruits available in the forest for a few days. This incident serves as a profound commentary, highlighting the notion that even as we grow older, there are times when we need someone to guide us and offer insights. It underscores the significance of self reflection and the importance of self control, especially for those who hold positions of influence in spiritual attainment. The news of the curse reached King Parikshit. It deeply saddened him, not only due to the imminent threat to his life, but also because of the humiliation inflicted upon the ascetic by his own actions. After some thought, determined to seek a means of avoiding his impending death, King Parikshit constructed a palace atop a pillar in a pond so secluded that even the wind could not enter without permission. In an interesting turn, another lesser known subplot emerges. Sage Kashyap, revered as the progenitor of gods, Daityas, Gandharvas, and various other beings, and attributed to the authorship of some Rigved verses, makes an entry. Sage Kashyap possessed the knowledge and skill to revive the dead from snake bites. Sensing that Parikshit would be in need of help after Takshaka's bite, sage Kashyap undertakes a journey to Parikshit's palace with the intention of resurrecting him using his mantras, thereby gaining both wealth and the merit of protecting a king who upholds righteousness. Meanwhile, Takshak himself was on his way to fulfill his mission of killing Parikshit. However, upon encountering Kashyap, he disguised himself and inquired about Kashyap's destination and purpose. Kashyap informed Takshak of his intent to restore Parikshit to life after his demise caused by Takshak's venomous bite. Hearing this, Takshak expressed his skepticism, stating that he had never witnessed anyone successfully reviving a creature bitten by him. He challenged Kashyap, proposing to bite a nearby tree and demanding that Kashyap revive it. Unfazed, Sage Kashyap accepted the challenge. Takshak proceeded to bite the tree, instantly reducing it to ashes. Kashyap collected the ashes, took water in his hand, and began chanting his mantras. As he performed the ritual, miraculously, the once destroyed tree transformed into a living being standing in the same spot where it previously stood. After the exchange between sage Kashyap and Takshak, the serpent warned Kashyap that even if he were to revive Parikshit, the king's life was destined to end as his time on earth was limited. Takshak emphasized that while Kashyap's skills would be displayed, the fame and monetary reward might not be as expected. After contemplating the situation, sage Kashyap realized the truth in Takshak's words and accepted a payment from Takshak. Kashyap prepared to depart and returned to his ashram satisfied. This aspect of the story offers a thought provoking insight into complexities of human decisions and motivations. Meanwhile, Takshak, along with several other snakes disguised as sages, cunningly infiltrated the palace constructed by Parikshit. Carrying offerings of darbha grass, fruits, and water, they approached the king, who was pleased with the presentation. Unknown to Parikshit, Takshak concealed himself within a particular fruit called ber. As the king bit into the fruit, he noticed an insect emerging from it. Realizing it to be Takshak, Parikshit resigned to his fate and asked his bodyguards to stand back. However, Takshak emerged fully and swiftly coiled himself around Parikshit's neck, delivering a fatal bite that caused the king's demise. Reflecting on the various subplots and salient points of the Parikshit Takshak narrative, several noteworthy observations emerge. Firstly, the importance of self care and knowing when to stop and rest, as Parikshit's relentless pursuit of his prey while exhausted led to his thoughtless actions in Shamik's hermitage and the eventual encounter with Takshak. Secondly, the horrendous consequences of impulsive anger, as demonstrated by sage Shringi's curse and the subsequent teachings of sage Shamik about no one being beyond guided by the wise. The third point revolves around the forgiveness displayed by sage Shamik towards Parikshit, emphasizing the significance of proportionate punishment and the benefits of a righteous ruler. Lastly, the question arises as to why accomplished sages like Kashyap pursue worldly wealth and how this parallels the dilemmas faced by modern day scientists and researchers, the rishis of today, in search of funding and support. Regarding the fate of Takshak, the Mahabharata does not provide explicit clarification. If there are additional details or insights from other sources or interpretations, further exploration may shed light on these aspects. It remains an intriguing question worthy of discussion and further research. I'll stop here for now. Hope you liked today's episode. See you next time. Till then, namaste.